Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, we're going to have a little conversation about Pokemon just in general, right? And it's one of the most weirdest things in the world dealing with Pokemon Go players and how they seem to know it all, right? A Pokemon Go player can really irritate the hell out of you. And I don't know what it is about them, but something about Pokemon Go players is like they feel like they're the be all end all of information. That Pokemon Go is the number one game and that there's no other games. Like everything else is in a closet somewhere begging to be played, but Pokemon Go is it, right? The thing that I don't understand with it is this, okay? We just got the update that we're gonna get to level 80. So I started getting messages like crazy from multiple people, like on WhatsApp and whatever, complaining about, oh, it's going to ruin the game and this and that. And I'm like, how is it going to ruin the game? And then most people, they're like, oh my God, now they're going to up the level of the Pokemon and blah, blah, blah. So let me like explain to you why Pokemon Go players have no clue, right? Now, I'm not knocking them, but it's just like, yo, I give it to you raw. I'm not going to be like these other guys or these other women on YouTube that are playing nice and want to be nice to you and all that. Like, I don't want you to like me, but I want you to understand that, yo, what I'm telling you is legit, bro. Like, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and be like, ooh, no. We're talking the real here, okay? Okay, so Pokemon Go, right? I've been playing for 3 years, right? Now, I don't know exactly the specifics of how it happened, like how it started, but I remember when Pokemon first came out, you had like a small pool of Pokemon to catch, right? And everyone's losing their mind to catch a Dragonite, whatever, right? At the time, I could have sworn that Sun and Moon were out. So that's what I was playing, right? So now I've played every Pokemon game. Mystery Dungeons I've played. I've played the old time Stadium when it was on the N64. I used to, listen, this is how old I am, okay? I used to play Red and Blue, right? And I even had the little, man, I can't remember what it was called, but on the Super Nintendo, you actually had this like game and you put the Game Boy games in it. You put in the Super Nintendo, like this cartridge, right? And you put in a Super Nintendo and you could play Pokemon games on your Super Nintendo. I used to play it on the N64 when we had quadruple speed. I used to run through a red or blue with a Charmander, just a Charmander on quadruple speed. You're done in an hour. And you hit every trainer, did everything. And back then, the way how EVs were done on your Pokemon were totally different than how they changed it after, right? And this is what I'm talking about. Usually games start off with their own ideas of how they're going to play it, and then things change because they realize that some of their ideas were crap, right? And they have better ways to utilize what they're doing. They get more out of the experience for you. So that's why you have to respect gameplay of game makers, right? They really try to fix it so the experience is better for you. Now, concerning Pokemon Go, it's the same thing. They started off with their own stuff. And I don't even think PvP was out at the beginning, right? So I don't even think Niantic had the idea at the beginning that they were going to have PvP, right? Remember, I didn't play it this time, but I'm just assuming, right? Like, you can tell me down in the comments if I'm right or wrong with that. But I don't think they thought of that. It's like, look at Pokemon Sleep right now. If we were to have Pokemon Sleep and it was to connect to Pokemon Home where we can send those Pokemon over, there would have to be rules they'd have to follow. Right? Yes, they're allowed to make Pokemon. They're allowed to play the game. They're allowed to do it the way they want, as long as they don't have to put those over there, right? In mainline games. So I'd assume that at the beginning, Pokemon Go did not have that option to send Pokemon over and all that stuff, right? Now, of course, things will change, right? They changed how the gym's system was. They changed how the PvP probably was at the beginning, right? They probably changed a lot of things. They changed how the raids were. They probably changed how, because I don't even think that you were able to appraise your Pokemon back at the beginning, right? So you weren't allowed to have, like you didn't have IVs the way how they're set up. So I would assume that eventually when they were talking to not Scopely, when they were talking to Game Freak and Nintendo and they had those big board meetings, Pokemon Go probably got big enough to the point where they were like, maybe we should start letting people put these in the mainline games, which is a great idea. It opens the game up. You can now take Pokemon Go Pokemon into the main games, which also was good. I remember this part. It was also good for if you caught a level 1 Charmander, you could make it a Charizard right away. So you could have a level 1 Charizard in a mainline game. Those things were unheard of back in the day. You couldn't do that. Like you couldn't have a like there was times when it was like a rare occurrence. Like you might even see like Gary have Eradicate that he shouldn't have at a certain level. Like you would have like I think Lance was like that. He had a Dragonite that was a Dragonite like level 51 when he turns into Dragonite level 55. Okay. The other thing that Pokemon Go did that I thought was good was that it made Pokemon that were pretty much doo-doo in the regular games, but they had a good ability, show that they were doo-doo in the games because they were doo-doo in Pokemon Go. And that's what I mean. There's certain things that don't happen in Pokemon Go that are not implemented in the game. And if they did, it would ruin the game. And it would make it too hard for a majority of you to play. Because Pokemon Go is easy. Now, what I mean is like, okay, I have a friend that has a Switch, but she's a big time Pokemon player now. Like she just loves Pokemon Go, right? And I gave her a Legends Arceus. She's had that game sitting there for months and won't play it. And honestly, I never expected her to. I never expected her to play. Like I have another friend who has Let's Go Pikachu, and he's one of those players that loves Pokemon Go. He can't play it. He's just like, well, it's too boring. I didn't like it. I don't understand it. And that's what a lot of people say. They don't understand the mainline games. And I also notice that even a lot of people that I meet that play the mainline games really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just like skim through it. Like Pokemon Go is easy. Unless you're playing PvP, which, yeah, okay, it'd be hard, right? But my whole thing is like, okay, why do people feel like level 50 is not the end? Because level 50 is level 100 in the mainline games, right? You take a level 50 Pokemon for Pokemon Go, it's level 100 in the mainline games, right? Then you have like power creep. And I don't think people even understand what power creep is. Mewtwo is a perfect example of power creep. Back in Gen 1, if you don't know, that's the first generation of Pokemon. That's Kanto Pokemon, right? Mewtwo was the be-all, end-all, was the god. Psychic Pokemon were overpowered because bug moves didn't do crap to them. Well, they did something, but they were no bug moves. Like, it was Pokemon's beginnings, right? So Alakazam, strong as hell. So Pokemon that were psychic Pokemon were very strong. Amnesia was an OP move. They had to fix that later on in Gen 2 because it was so OP. Now, Mewtwo, stat-wise, base stat-wise, all that, way stronger than anybody else, right? But then you look at Mewtwo now compared to, let's say, a Dialga or Palkia, right? Even right now, I can't remember the name of the Pokemon. I cannot remember the name of this Pokemon. Oh my gosh. The one that rides the steed. What is the name of that Pokemon? Anyways, that Pokemon, if you had to choose between that Pokemon with Mewtwo, you would go with that one. What is the name of that Pokemon? Why can't I remember that name? Hold on. I'm going to find that name. Okay, yes. The Calyrex. Now, Calyrex is two Pokemon together, right? Now, but the problem is Calyrex is so much stronger base stat-wise than Mewtwo, you would use Calyrex. So, also, Psychics aren't as strong as they used to be, right? Plus, in Gen 1, there was no Dark type, so you didn't have, that immortality. Not immortality, but like that, you couldn't hit a Dark type with a Psychic Pokemon. Like, you couldn't do it, right? The resistance was, untouchable. Like, you couldn't do it. That's why in Gen 2, it was so fun for me because I was playing it Japanese, because you used to get the Japanese games first. So like people would have them like on a floppy disk and all that. So you'd play them, right? But you couldn't understand what the hell it was saying because it was all Japanese. Well, I remember I got to the Elite Four and they had a psychic trainer. No, they had a dark trainer, sorry. And I had this, powerful Alakazam. And I'm using psychic and I'm like, yo, why is psychic not working? I got hit with one move, died. I was like, damn, what the hell? And then I found out after that, dark type, couldn't get hit by psychic moves. It's like, okay. So it changed the meta. Like Steel were strong against psychic also, but they weren't invulnerable, right? But this is what I mean about, things change, right? And Pokemon Go is doing the exact same thing. If Niantic, aka Scopely, had created Niantic back then, if they had created their own game and it was their own IP and whatever, right? They could do whatever the hell they want. They would have their pocket monsters be level 1,000 if they wanted to. They would have no ceiling. But with these games, because of the influence of the IP that they're using, there's a ceiling. And I don't think people understand the ceiling. Okay, yes, they changed the IVs, they changed the Pokemon, whatever. They changed how strong they were. Because they had to, right? That's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That probably happened once or twice because they have to change how it is. One thing I never liked, they have to change it because of how the game is structured, right? It has to be close to how Pokemon would be in the mainline games. That's why I knew right away when they said Gigantamax Pokemon can't be sent to home. I knew why exactly. Like just my observation, my assumption, my opinion is because of certain Pokemon like Melmetal. You only get one of his Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. If we're able to catch 50,000 of them, you could send them all to home and use them in mainline games of Sword and Shield. So you could start a Sword and Shield level one, not level one, but you would have a young Melmetal Gigantamax form when you're only supposed to have one. So that's why, if people don't know this, when you have like a Pokemon like a Darkrai, and let's say you trade Darkrai to home, not trade, but you transfer it to home, and then you try to put it in a game that doesn't have Darkrai in your Pokedex already, you can't use it. You can't put it in there. It'll tell you, no, you haven't caught this Pokemon yet, so you can't use it. That's why you have to have a Darkrai from like another mainline game, put it in there, and then it adds to your Pokedex, and there you go. Because it's so easy to get Pokemon Go Pokemon than it is to get the mainline game ones, right? And there's more options. Like, that's why you never see shinies right away. Right now, how many Pokemon in Pokemon Go can't go shiny? Right? Like, if it's not happening in the mainline games, it's not happening in Pokemon Go. And it's like, because you can get a hundo. You can get a shiny Pokemon, a Hoopa, and then just put it in Pokemon Home, and now you got your shiny. You don't have to do any of the work. You won't even have to play the mainline games. You see what I'm saying? That's why there has to be some type of ceiling. There has to be rules. They are under Pokemon's IP. They have to follow rules. So them putting a Pokemon to level 100 in the game, as in their level 100, as in it would be 200 in the mainline games, the only thing that Nintendo could do is that when it goes to home, it resets to 100. And I know they could do that, but would they want to? That's more work for them. They're not going to want to do that. Maybe they might eventually, but like look at like I said with the Gigantamax, you can't send those over. You can't send costumes. You can't send, like, even the ones in the background. You can't send those because there has to be rules, and that's what I don't understand with people. Like, do you not understand that there's rules to the game? Like, it's like Gengar is so powerful in Pokemon Go, right? But in the mainline game, since he lost Levitate, he's still strong, but he's not as great as he was before. Simple. This is what I'm talking about, where catch-up mechanics are a thing for Pokemon. Like, power creep is a thing, right? You have a lot of those Pokemon that Mega Evolved were from Kanto because they were so weak. They were really strong before, and then they were weak. So Mewtwo is why they did that. That was exactly why. But they gave Mewtwo 2, they gave Charizard 2, and they're fan favorites, and it made you want to use them again. That was really what it was. Like, you notice how a lot of the newer Pokemon didn't do it? Like, it was because they wanted to power up the old ones because that's the nostalgia feel. Oh, look, Snorlax is stronger now. Yay! High five! Like, that's really what it is. And I don't understand why people just can't understand that type of stuff. It's simple. You know, it's easier to do a lot of things in Pokemon Go than it is in mainline games, right? You know, like even like Mystery Dungeon was like that. That was the only way you can get Manaphy or Fione, right? This is what I mean. Like there has to be like certain rules to the games. They can't just do whatever they want and throw whatever they want down and be like, oh, look, we can do this and we're going to do this and blah, 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 blah. Now, we still have Pokemon we haven't Mega Evolved yet. And they have a new game coming out. We're going to have more Mega Evolutions. And they're just trying to stretch out the game. Why do you think, like, you know, like the whole mighty Pokemon thing, and why do you think like the level 80 thing, they're changing up the XP system so it's easier for you to level up? Because if you don't play the game from the beginning, like when you play the game from the beginning, right, like the first year or so, it was hard as hell to level up, right? As time goes on, they're gonna want new blood in the game so they can make more money. So they have to make it easier for them to catch up so that they can be on the same level playing field with you, who's been playing since 2016, right? Anyone that starts playing now after the new update, they can level up much faster and be a part of the meta, like much quicker than you could, right? It's just so you can catch up. The older the game gets, the catch-up mechanics become easier. It's simple. There's no, you know, there's no reason to be so like irritated about something like this. Like I don't know, man. I'm starting to rant now because it's just so, it's annoying. The fact that people, before they research something, start saying, oh, well, I don't like this. And I don't like, you know, I swear to God, I got like 20 messages from people like just telling me this. And I'm like, dude, like, did you not read what they posted? You know, it's weird. It's like, I don't know, man. To me, it's just, you know, there should be, people are going to hate me for this. They should have some research to get to like level 80 where you have to play, you have to play a mainline game to a certain point and catch a certain Pokemon. And then, like, I don't know, man. Like, you have to play to a certain point and get a certain item that you can only get at that point in the game, and then let Pokemon Go like scan it, or you send it to Pokemon or something like that, and like then you get get the field research done. Like what I mean is you have to run a Pokemon game. So let's say it's for something like a shiny. Okay, no, you know what? You want to get Calyrex, you have to play the DLC in Pokemon Sword or Shield, right? And it's a mandatory thing. You have to actually play it, and they have to check your Nintendo account to make sure you played it, and that's how you get the Calyrex. Like something like that forces people to play a mainline game would actually be so funny. Like I'm not saying to do it, but I think that would be hilarious. Like all these Pokemon Go players would be dying. They'd be like, oh no, I gotta play the mainline game, and they would have no idea what to do. Like I can only imagine someone that only played Pokemon Go, like, and played no other game, tried to run like a mainline game and just crumble. Like I could see them streaming it and starting to cry. Like it's the funniest thing. You know, like I played them all, man. And it's like Pokemon Go is fun because you're outside, you're doing stuff. You know, it's less brain work. Unless you're playing PvP, then it's a lot of brain work. But I don't know, man. It's such a weird. It's so weird how people just believe like Pokemon Go is the be all end all. You know, they've never played anything else, and there's so many other games you could play. But yeah, anyways, I'm hoping that this level 80 thing is easy for the newer people. And that's why it's cool that we got legacy items now that you can't get now, which is good. It just shows you like, yo, this is an OG and they should be respected as such. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like it that certain Pokemon you can't get again in the game, like Armored Mewtwo, the clone Pokemon. People are like, oh, they should bring it back. No, they shouldn't, because if you weren't playing at that time, they should not bring it back. It's a special event. It happened for a short period of time. If you missed it, you're out of luck. That's it. Because then it just shows you the longevity of people. If I have, now, I mean, you can still trade them and stuff, but if I caught a Hundo Armored Mewtwo back in 2019, I'm not trading that, right? I can now flex on people and be like, yo, look at this Armored Mewtwo that I got in 2019. And then no one can say nothing because they're like, oh, can you trade it? Oh, I need a traded one. But you didn't catch it if it's traded because, you're going to do a lucky trade most likely. And that's what I like, man. It's good that you were able to catch Pokemon during events that you can never catch again. And I think that's how the game should be run. And it just lets you have bragging rights. And also people will sell it on eBay so you can make some money off it too. So that's not a bad thing. There's a guy out where we are and he had like 50 Armored Mewtwo's and people were just dying for him to trade with them. Like people are using lucky trinkets on him, which is good for him because now he can ask for whatever the hell he wants and power himself up now. I wish I was playing 2019 because I would have had 1,000 armored, well, not that many. I'd had a lot of Armored Mewtwo's. I would have raided the hell out of that thing and I would have then traded them to people and get myself some new Pokemon. And they would have been lucky because either we're doing it as lucky friends or we're doing it as with lucky trinkets. I think that was good. Like he probably powered up a lot just from that. So it's a good thing to do, man. It's a good thing to have in the game. Now you can never get them. Cool. I mean, you can't use them anyways. So him having 50 of them didn't really help because even when the game's going to be done, you can't trade them to home anyways. And there you go. Anyways, that's my video on Nufftingz Speaks where we give it to you raw. Like and subscribe. Comment down below and tell me what you think. And I'll see you in the next video.